what's up YouTube? For today's video, with me, Phil, Rowlet, Evolution and Forms team. 10 months ago, I did this team, and I actually wasn't sure whether I'd ever be able to use Decidueye Hisuian on a team, so I thought, you know what, I'll do this team now, and if the future, I'll redo it. If not, well, I've done the team. So we're redoing the team today with Hisuian Decidueye on the team, so it's a team of 4 Pokemon. I've got 5 battles today with this team, and I really hope you enjoy. Now, is Decidueye your favorite Pokemon, or is it not? Let me know in the comment section. Always like to hear your thoughts. What do you think of Decidueye? And, of course, the new Pokemon, Decidueye Hisuian, in the comment section. First battle here, this one is against Wint, and we have a Majana lead. So this Pokemon is not a bad pick for my team because it's actually a steel type and it can resist a lot of my moves. Now, my first Pokemon is going to be Little Rowlet. We've got Leaf Blade, Shadow Sneak, Sucker Punch, and Trailblaze. I got the EV spreaders, max attack and max speed out of nature. Ability is going to be Overgrow, and item is going to be Focus Out. So it's a Trailblaze set, so I'm trying to get a massive Overgrow Leaf Blade, which actually does hit pretty hard. And with the Trailblaze, I can increase my speed. But unfortunately, I'm versing a Rowlet Majana, so I'm very, very scared. And as we know, Soul Heart's going to change the entire battle. Next Pokemon is Dartrix. So Dartrix is a bulky Everlight set. It's different too because I run this one more special defensive. So I've got Max Health and Max Special Defense. And I've got Careful Nature. And I've got Roost, Sword Dance, Feather Dance, and Brave Bird. Unfortunately, Majana is going to be able to bust through my defenses there with the rollout. So I am in a little bit of a pickle here, as you could say. Also, people, I am sorry about the lack of uploads lately for the last day or two. I've been very, very busy with my Pokemon Crystal walkthrough Nuzlocke. If you haven't been checking that out on the streams, make sure you do. It's been awesome, and I've been very busy with all the last stuff too. So anyway, I'm going to be able to live that rollout only just, and I got a triple arrow off, which is very, very good. And now Majana's going to start rolling out again. However, it's at the start again. So it had its maximum rollout, and the rollouts have sort of re-rolled. So I was able to take it out. Thank goodness, otherwise I would have got swept there. Would have been very, very scary. Now, this build on Decidueye Hisuian is Triple Arrows, Trailblaze, Leaf Blade, and Sucker Punch. It's got the ability Scrappy, and I've got Lychee Berry as the item, Max Attack and Max Speed, Jolly Nature. So this is definitely more of a competitive set, which I just quietly did need on this team. They had a lot of weaknesses. And we had this Bounce Weight come out, and I actually got a Fleet Shot up, which is really, really funny with Triple Arrows. Triple Arrows is such a crazy move, having that crit chance, a 50% chance to drop the defense by 1 stage, and a 30% chance flinch, all in the same move. It's absolutely like crazy. So when it comes Oricorio, I'm going to be going for triple arrows here, and let's face it, it's not really doing too much. So it tried to, I thought it'd try and finish me off there, and it's going to be setting up Quiver Dances. I just thought I might as well go for Sucker Punch and get a bit of damage before I fainted, but this Oricorio really didn't do much. It was just actually passing stats on. So, okay, that's interesting. I wonder who it's going to get past to. And it is going to get past to an EV. So I went for a Trailblaze here. That does a lot of damage to EV. That I don't think it's got Everlight. It might, but 2 shots was enough to take out the EV that got given a couple of Quiver Dance there. So like a special EV. Next Pokemon is Oricorio again. I'm just going to go for Triple Arrows, and Triple Arrows is going to drop its defense now that I know I can outspeed it. Like before, I wasn't sure when I was using Sucker Punch. So the move it's going to use is going to be Rain Dance. It's like, okay, so it's like a pure setup Pokemon. Oricorio cannot do anything. I think it's only got like status moves like Quiver Dance and passing moves. So they're just going to go for a dry baton pass, and nothing is going to get pass. Next Pokemon is Overkill. I'm like, all right, this is definitely a Swift Swim set. I'll just go for Sucker Punch and do a little bit of damage there. Here comes a Fell Sting. I'm like, no, you don't. So I definitely do not want this Pokemon to get a +3 in attack. It would be absolutely disastrous. So I've got to swap out the Decidueye, and I'm going to go into my other Decidueye, which is my special attacking set. Let me bring this one up here. So I'm going to get hit by that Fell Sting. Of course, it's not going to do as much. I've got Nasty Plot, Giga Drain, Shadow Ball, and I've got Terra Blast Water, which is actually quite good for this team because, as you can see, they are all weak to fire Pokemon, flying Pokemon, and stuff like that, which was they're probably the biggest, like fire and flying. Those really, really did hurt this team. And your Ice Pokemon too. I did have my Decidueye with a fighting move, but still, it's very, very difficult for those types. So we're going to go for the Terra Blast Water, which, thanks to the Rain Dance, is going to be powered up. And that is going to be enough to take out the Overquill with a crit. I don't know whether that one actually mattered or not. I'd say it probably did, but I'd say I'm guessing I would have lived the next attack anyway. So Oricorio is going to set the rain up again because it actually just stopped. I don't think there's anything that it can do at all, so it's only got those status moves. So that's the end of Oricorio. I guess I was just sacrificing it. So I'm thinking maybe their last Pokemon has some sort of strategy with rain. I don't know. So we got one more Pokemon and it's Basculin. Okay, yeah. This is why. So we got a Terra Basculin. I'm thinking, I wonder what this is going to be. So I've still got 2 Pokemon left, which is pretty good. And we're facing a Terra Water Basculin. I'm like, well, they're not going to use a water move, are they? Like, they know that I'm a water type. Then they pulled out a Terra Aqua Jet, no, a Terra Water Gun. It was even weaker than Aqua Jet, and it almost took me out. That was a Terra Adaptability Water Gun, only on Pivot Shot. That actually did an absurd amount of damage, and Decidueye is going to finish it off with Giga Drain. So no wonder they set the Rain Dance up and try to troll me then. Seriously, if Decidueye fainted there, I would have lost because that would have done like insane amounts of damage. Anyway, that is the end of the battle. It was a troll team. Thank you, Win, for the battle, and let's get on to battle number 2. This is a battle against Fairy Soul. I think that's it. A Fairy Soul, and we got a Cinderace lead. So as you can see, Cinderace is going to be a very, very good Pokemon for this team. So it's going to go for Flamethrower, and it came out of its foot. So I'm thinking to myself, Flamethrower on Cinderace. I wonder. Anyway, so Rowlet's going to have a Focus Sash. I went for Leaf Blade, and the Leaf Blade does reveal a Pokemon being Decidueye Hisuian. So I went for a Sucker Punch here and finish off the Zoroark, which is a nice start to the battle. Also, people, if you enjoyed the videos and you want to support the channel, make sure you hit that like button. Only takes 1 second and really does help out. And make sure you get to see my videos in the recommended and all the other hoops you've got to jump through. So we're going to go for another Leaf Blade here against the Umbreon, and Umbreon's going to take that fairly well. That was I'd say that was almost like max health, max defense Umbreon. Very, very bulky. So that's the end of Rowlet. Not that Rowlet has like amazing attack, but Overgrowth Leaf Blade is pretty powerful. Next Pokemon is Decidueye Hisuian. I can go for a Triple Arrows here, and Triple Arrows does a good amount of damage. I'm very happy with that, and I got the defense drop, being a 50% chance. Now, the Umbreon's going to go for a Yawn. I don't know if I want to swap out here. I was like, do I want to get rid of this because it might have, like, Wish or something like that, or do I want to swap and conserve it for later on? So I decided to swap, and I went into Dartrix. So Dartrix does have some sort of presence about it with Sword Dance. It's going to use Foul Play on me. So I'm alright, it didn't have a Wish. It's just going to have Leftovers and Recovery. So this is purely like a special defensive set. And I was right. The Umbreon did have Wish. I'm like, alright, I was correct there. So you know what I'm going to do in this stage? I'm going to go for Sword Dance. I'm going to get as many Sword Dances up as I can before, of course, I faint out to that Foul Play. Foul Play being a very, very good counter to any Foul Play user. Here it comes. Foul Play does a lot more damage than before. Here comes the Brave Bird, and that is enough to take out the Umbreon before the Wish comes in, which is excellent. So I got a little bit of recall damage there. Next Pokemon is going to be Cinderace. Like, it's another Cinderace. So it's going to be another Flamethrower. I'm like, hang on a sec. And that's the end of my Dartrix. I'm like, all right, I've got 2 Pokemon left. Hopefully I can take out the Cinderace, the special Cinderace. So bringing into my Decidueye, I've got Terra Water, and I really just had to go for it here because any fire move absolutely destroys this team. I think this was definitely a battle on the Poké Portal too. Most of the battles in today's video are random battles. So the Terra Water here is definitely going to be what I need for the Cinderace. It's going to be going for a Flamethrower. I was hoping for no burns or anything like that. Minimal damage of Flamethrower, and now I should be able to take this out easy or do some very, very good damage to the opposing Cinderace. So that's the end of the Cinderace, and it's going to be able to live that one because it wasn't a Cinderace, it was a Zoroark. It's 2 Zoroarks on 1 team. So another Flamethrower, I'm assuming their choice there. I say they were Choice Scarf. And yeah, that's the end of the Zoroark, the Choice Scarf Zoroark. So Now I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, there's definitely a real Cinder. Will the real Cinderace please stand up? Here we go. Last Pokemon on the team is Cinderace. It was a 4v4 battle. They are going to go for a high jump kick. I was hoping for a miss, but it never happened. And that is the end of the Decidueye. Now I've got my Hisuian one left here. It's also going to have Life Orb, but like, man, that's going to be doing like heaps and heaps of damage. So I can virtually try and go for a Sucker Punch here, and that's really all I can do. Whether or not I'm going to one-shot it is going to be like another thing. I'm very, very doubtful. So we've got a Terrify Cinderace. This is like definitely a very, very competitive team for sure. And I decided to go for another move, and I was hoping that Pyro Ball missed, but it didn't miss. And yeah, no way Decidueye is going to be living that, and no way I would have fainted with Sucker Punch. So I really needed a miss there, but it never happened. So let's get on to battle number 3. I was actually pretty happy with how that team went, though. Having all those, like, there was 3 Pokemon with fire moves there when you think about it. So next battle against the Engager, we have a mirror match here. So we've got 2 Rowlet, 2 Dartrix, 2 Decidueye, and 2 Decidueye Hisuian versing each other. So it's a 4v4 match. We got an Air Cutter Dartrix here. So Air Cutter's going to be doing a fair bit to Rowlet. I cannot do much to this at all. I'm assuming it probably has Everlight too. And now they're going to start using Giga Drain. So I guess they figured that they'll try and get some sort of health back here. But Giga Drain actually wasn't enough to faint me, which is pretty funny. So here comes another Giga Fail. And that Rowlet is still going to be living. But I just can't do anything. So even after all those Leaf Blades I did, the Giga Drain pretty much put the the Dartrix back to where it was before in terms of health. So I don't think Rowlet was ever going to do too much in this battle, being like Overgrown Leaf Blade being its best option. So we're going to go into my own Dartrix. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go for, I've got maybe a Sword Dance or a Brave Bird just straight up. I went for the Brave Bird straight up here, and that was almost enough to take out the Dartrix. So I was pretty happy with that too. I think we've both got the shiny ones. Yeah, we both got the shiny team too. So I'm going to be going for a second Brave Bird here, and that is the end of Dartrix. So finally, I took out Dartrix. I should do a full owl team, shouldn't I? I guess that Dartrix is, like Dartrix, well, this evolution line, what do we got, Noctowl? Is there any other owl Pokemon? I'm trying to think. Is there any other owl Pokemon we can actually use? Like, I'm thinking like Hoodoo, Noctowl. Oh my goodness, we only got a couple of owls. If you can think of any other ones, I'm having a mental blank at the moment on these Pokemon. Yeah, I can't think of it. I'm probably going to get roasted and forgotten like a really, really easy one. But anyway, I took a Rowlet out in a children's game of Pokemon. That's the main thing, right? So bye-bye Rowlet. Next Pokemon is Decidueye. So any of the Rowlet Everline and any of the Hootoos, owls, any Pokemon that go woo, woo, like that, you know, that very haunting sort of sound at nighttime, you know, and then suddenly you'll see an owl like come out of the tree and go get a rat or something like that, or whatever they do, or a mouse. So anyway, in comes Decidueye. It's a family feud. I'm gonna get some very, very good damage against that, and it's gonna be a double team sound. Like, oh, okay. I hope I can land my moves here. It's gonna have Shadow Sneak as well. Shadow Sneak does a really, really good amount of damage to me, and of course, after one double team, I miss, and it's going to take me out with 2 Shadow Sneaks. So that's the end of Decidueye. So all I've got left now is my Decidueye Hisuian versus this double team Shadow Snake Decidueye. So I'm sure I can feint it. I've got Scrappy, triple arrows, and a miss. And now a second double team. So the fun is just getting, it's just warming up here, people. Now we've got a Terra. I'm like, all right, I wonder what this Terra's going to be. Any sort of flying move is really, really going to be very, very bad. And then it's Terra flying. I'm like, okay, I think I'm done. Brave Bird's gonna fight me. Triple Arrows is gonna miss again there, and it's Terra Peck. Here it comes, the mighty Peck, and he one-shotted me. Oh, you gotta be salty after that. That is the end of the third battle there. I'm sorry, I got a little bit disorientated. I was getting pecked by a Terra flying Decidueye. I lost to the move Peck, people. It happens to all of us. Let's get on to battle number 4. I'm not really sure what my opponent's name is. It is a random opponent, and we've got a Rowlet lead. So we've got a Jolteon lead here. I've got little Rowlet going for maybe it's Leaf Blade combination. So I went for the Leaf Blade. Good damage against the, definitely like really good damage against Jolteon. I followed it up with a Sucker Punch, and it wasn't enough to take it out, which, wasn't too much of a surprise. Jolteon's got Citrus Berry, and it's just going to go for another T-Bolt here, and that is the end of Rowlet. But not a bad start there. Jolteon really can't do a lot to my other Pokemon, so I decided to go into Dartrix. I thought I might be able to get a couple of Sword Dances up here. Let's see how well it's going to do. So Thunderbolt, I'm going to be able to eat that like a snack, and we're going to get a free Sword Dance up here. Matter of fact, I could probably get like easy 2 or 3. Then the Jolteon uses Copycat. I'm like, I hope they don't have a physical move here. We're going to go out, not another Terraflying Pokemon, a Terraflying Jolteon. I went for a Brave Bird here. I just wanted to get rid of this thing, and that was enough. Though Jolteon's not very bulky on the defensive side, even with a not very effective attack. So a little bit of recoil. Next Pokemon is going to be Glaceon. I'm like, well, I may as well just go for the Brave Bird here, and Ice Beam is going to fate me. It is 4 times weakness after all, so it wasn't too much of a surprise. So going into Decidueye Hisuian, I've got the triple arrows. I'm going to be going for that right now. Good damage there, fainting the Glaceon in one shot. So that's a nice Pokemon to get rid of. Now, the next Pokemon is going to be Espeon. I'm on an espionage mission, and I went for Sucker Punch, and it didn't faint. I was like, man, that must have been minimum damage. Now, Espeon has popped the Psychic. Decidueye just lives narrowly, and now I'm going to be eating my berry. The berry on this is going to be a Lychee Berry, boosting my attacks. I thought, oh, okay. I went for Sucker Punch, and the Espeon is going to go for Morning Scum. So it's going to be healing itself off. And I went for Sucker Punch again. Yeah, the Espeon's going to go for another Morning Sun. So I'm like, you know what? They're going to have to attack soon. And if they do, Sucker Punch should one-shot due to that +1 in attack. So that is the end of the Espeon. So as you can see, it is a evolution team. Matter of fact, there was an Eevee in the very first or second battle. So we've actually seen all of them nearly. So in comes Sylveon. That's going to be able to fate me there. Unfortunately, I'm going to bring in my last hope here being Decidueye. So I'm thinking to myself, I need some sort of boost here, so let's go for Nasty Plot and boost up that little special attack stat. I've got Timid Nature here, so I'm reasonably fast. So Giga Drain does very, very good damage there to Sylveon. It is hitting me rather hard with the Hyper Voice, but it's okay though, because I'm able to take those ones reasonably well. It seems to be a Pixelate set for sure, judging on the quick attack that it did from earlier on. I don't know what EVs it's got though. Maybe it's got some in attack and special attack. It might be like a mix set or something like that. So anyway, that's the end of Sylveon. In comes Leafeon. I just went for a Shadow Ball here, and Leafeon is not going to like that. That's the end of that in one shot. So a beautiful performance there. This was insane. So the Vaporeon here is coming out. I'm thinking, you know what? It might go for an Ice Beam. So Ice Beam's going to be super effective. So I'm thinking, let's go into Terra Water. So Terra Water is going to be very, very handy against this. I should be able to go for, Nasty Plot and Giga Drain. The opponent is now going to go for a Terra. I'm like, I wonder what Terra Vaporeon is going to have. This will be interesting. And it had Terra Electric. I'm like, my heart was starting to sink. I'm like, oh no, it might have Terra Blast Electric. So we've got Protection Vaporeon. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I guess they're just going to do that to see what move I used against them. I went for the Giga Drain there, then they blocked that, then I went for the Giga Drain again, and I got some pretty good damage. Now, Vaporeon is going to go for Copycat, and that's going to be super effective against me, so I'm like, I can see what they're doing here. So what they were doing is they were copycatting my moves. They had leftovers as the item, by the way. So every single time I make a move, they use Copy or Protect and Copycat combination, which is actually pretty good because they were super effective against me, whereas them being just an electric type, I wasn't doing lots of damage. So what I was thinking of doing, the way to get around this Vaporeon was to deliberately do my attacking move and when they use Protect, and then when they go for the Copycat, I'd go for Nasty Plot. So that way the Vaporeon, I know it's dangerous, was copying my Nasty Plots, and then they'd be going for a Nasty Plot instead of going for Giga Drain. It was a risky play, but clearly they didn't have any other real moves to hit me with than the Copycat. And that's the end of the battle. I took it out with a Giga Drain. And yeah, that was pretty cool. Some couple of Copycat Pokemon there. Thank you, the random opponent for the battle. If you ever see this video, that was fun. It was such a long ending there. I did speed it up a little bit. Next battle here. This is a random battle on the Poke Portal, and we've got a Groudon lead. It is a Groudon versus Rowlet. So This team was absolutely, it was just a legendary spamming sweat. So Groudon versus Rowlet, what could possibly go wrong here? And it's going to be setting up Stealth Rock. So this person was out for business. You know, they wanted to get their free win by pressing the A button. So I'm going to do everything absolutely in my power to try and stop them. So Groudon is going to go for Stealth Rock, and now it's going to go for the Thunder Wave. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. At least it didn't break my sash. So I decided to go for Trailblaze here. So Trailblaze does some pretty good damage. Groudon is going to obviously completely destroy me, and it's going to be eating a berry. So it went for, I believe it went for a Dragon Tail there, or it went for a status move and it missed. And, sorry, they went for a Sword Dance there. My apologies, they went for a Sword Dance. I must have accidentally cut that out. And they attacked me with Stone Edge. I don't know why they needed Sword Dance against a Rowlet for. I guess I'm thinking about my other Pokemon, but I managed to beat them with Focus Sash. Then they brought out a naughty hack shiny Meloetta, and I went to ham with them with a Sucker Punch. Now it's going to go for an Ice Punch there, or like a little slap, and that is the end of the Rowlet. So a very, very good job there from Rowlet. Next Pokemon is Decidueye. I'm going to go for Shadow Ball here. This will be pretty good. So they're going to go for an Ice Punch here. Ice Punch does okay damage, and I'm going to bust out that nasty plot. I thought I may try and outspeed them, but it didn't work very well. So I thought, I'll go for Terra Water Decidueye, live the Ice Punch, except if I get Freeze Axe, it'll be very, very bad. And this should be enough to take out the Meloetta. You know, that was the plan anyway. I was hoping I could execute it. So tearing that Decidueye, here comes the Ice Punch again, does no damage, which is great. And now I'm going to go for Giga Drain, and it doesn't take it out. I wanted to get some more recovery back there, not Shadow Ball. Let's go for that recovery. Meloetta lives. It's got a Relic Song, and it's got the normal gem, which is going to boost that attack. Relic Song actually doesn't fade me. I lived on 1 health, and it transforms into Pirouette Meloetta. It's got like a little ballerina skirt, and I'm not sure, like it looks like a pink head as well. It's actually not a bad shiny at all. And Meloetta is going to be fighting, so they must be salty after that. Like, that 1 HP live, Rowlet beating Groudon. Like, this is content so far. So, they're getting pretty salty. Out comes the Rayquaza. Look at this team. So, shiny Rayquaza, obviously it's going to have extreme speed. I know that's coming. And they didn't use it. I was like, okay. I went for Shadow Ball. Great damage there. Almost take it out. And now I see they're going to go for Dragon Dance. So, Rayquaza is going to have like crazy amounts of attack now, and of course speed too. Extreme speed is enough to take out Decidueye, of course, so that's the end of that. So I've got Dartrix left and Decidueye. It's like, well, I've got Sucker Punch on this, so I might be able to get around them. I went for it, and that is the end of Rayquaza. I'd say they would have probably gone for like, I don't know, Dragon Ascent or something scummy like that. Last Pokemon is the Whiscander Arceus. The sweat is real. Look at this team. They did bring 4 Pokemon though, but they did bring like 4 sweat. So Arceus is going to set up a Sword Dance. I wonder what it's going to use. I went for triple Axle, then triple arrow. I was already lined up to go for a triple arrow again, but we already know what they're going to do here. They're going to go for Terra Normal Arceus, which virtually it makes Terra Normal Dragonite look like a joke. It's so powerful, and it's got more bulk than Dragonite too, and it already starts off as a normal type. Here comes the extreme speed. Obviously, the Decidueye is not going to live that. My last hope here is going to be Dartrix, but as I mentioned before, this Dartrix is not a defensive wall. It's more special defensive, so Dartrix is going to faint, but that was a very close battle considering how much of a sweaty team they bought. That's it, people. Peace out.